It's NautoAis. This is going to be my impression of Neptunia Shooter. Yeah, so for people who don't know, Idea Factory International basically released on May 21st Neptunia Shooter for $5, but for the first week it's 20% off, so it's $4. It's basically just your straight shooter, and it is kind of interesting for what the game is. And like I said, believe it or not, this game was developed actually in Idea Factory International themselves. It started as a April's Fool joke that became a real game, a simple game. I mean, it probably was based on something, but it's just your, let's just say, your basic shooter. But the premise and how the mechanic works is a little bit different, but not so much about it. So I'm gonna give my impression about the game. But before that, I wanna talk about two things about Idea Factory related topics. So for the first one is, I need to do a correction once again, and this one is on Miracle Force, or the actual title basically is, I just didn't really notice until now. Oopsie, my part is Mega Miracle Force. So on my latest video, the bonus video, basically my sort of thoughts but slash theory of what's going on with Neptunia and France app, how come there's no update. At the same time, any West release of, well, Mega Miracle Force, which is a Idea Factory All-Star game gacha one. So the first thing I want to do a correction is, well, the first one is the correction, is the title once again. I keep saying it on that video, Miracle Force, but it's actually called Mega Miracle Force. So I'm assuming the word Mega is from Mega Dimension. That's why. So it's Mega Miracle Force is the actual title, but I keep saying Miracle Force. So my mistake in that part, I know it's probably not a big deal, but it's always good to, if you see something wrong, it's best to correct it. You know, just presentation is the key there. So that's the first one, the correction. The second one is also a little bit of, not sort of a follow-up, but another clarification on the mobile situation. So like I said on that video, I did a disclaimer that I couldn't really find a lot of source about it because not really much people talking about it. Like the only source I remember I found out, like I said, was during a Idea Factory stream, whatever they always stream. In the case with Neptunia and France app, I couldn't remember what stream it is, but someone on the chat, it wasn't someone talking about it, it was on the chat, who basically said, as of right now, there's no new updates in the game. But in the case with Mega Miracle Force, during a stream, I could be wrong, but the stream of Rio Chronicles Hyper, one of the hosts did say, well, we just don't have any news about it, but that's the closest source that I got. So like I said, if I could make it up, I guess apology, but that's what I remember, the only source I could find. So maybe to some extent that video is more of a theory than my thoughts about the updates on those Idea Factory mobile app / games. And one last thing before the main event, and that is, if you've been following Idea Factory, especially Super Neptunia RPG, that game not only is going to come out for the PlayStation 4, which is sad to say, censored. You kind of see it on December with the sales and the reviews. Got reviewed bombs, so you know that's a red flag. It's also going to come in the Switch and Steam, and I did talk about that before. So May the 28th, basically, they finally opened up the pre-orders for Super Neptunia RPG Limited Edition. You can get it either the PlayStation 4 and the Switch. And since I'm a big supporter of Idea Factory, I like the Neptunia series, I also wanted to show my support to Idea Factory Compile Heart and decided to buy the limited edition of Super Neptunia RPG for the Switch. Yes. Wait. Not to wait, I thought you were a Sony supporter. Well, I do prefer my third-party games on Sony platform to build my trophy and the share factory, but when I heard about this censorship BS crap, then it's a little bit different story now. The games have changed, and of course, Idea Factory basically did announce that only the PS4 version is going to be censored. I know it's a minor change, but it's principal matter there, so $90 limited edition for the Switch, and I think a lot of people, the majority, are buying it for the Switch because not only it's uncensored, but you can play it on the go. So you kind of get the idea there. So well, that's the first time. I did buy a limited edition, but that was like very expensive advent for it, but that was in Black Friday. It was only $20. They had Neptunia versus Sega Hard Girl. I missed the boat. It was $30, but they had some cool stuff. Nuts. Yeah, they were just getting rid of it. I learned it, but it was already too late. Whatever, but this one, yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm literally doing this because I'm a super Neptunia super fan, let's just say that. And of course, a little bit of, speaking of censorship here, is that in the MCM London Expo, I guess, their Anime Expo in Europe or in London, is Idea Factory Europe was there, but then there was a poster with Dead Alive Rio Reincarnation, and apparently it had a different date now. Now it's like July 23rd, 2019, if I'm reading it right. So I don't know what does that mean. If it's delayed, possibly, maybe, you might say, well, improvements, but it could be like when I had to say Kagura Burst renewal. Maybe Sony saw something that they weren't happy and more censorship. I don't know yet. I'm not going to go there yet, but we'll have to wait and see if Idea Factory actually international or Europe basically announced that, yeah, it was delayed because of it. Whatever the reason is, I'll probably do the video about it. So there you go. So with that, now my impression of Neptunia Shooter. So what do I think about Neptunia Shooter, my impression? Well, if you're a Neptunia fan, you're probably going to be having fun because, you know, a fanboy always supports the game, whether it's good or bad. To some extent, but I am a super fan of Neptunia series or the Idea Factory with their game. The game, for what it is, for $5. However, for the first week, I know I'm way too late, was 20% off, so it was basically $4. But it seemed in my case, since I bought, yes, that's how I'm a super fan of Neptunia. Well, to some extent I am, but at the same time, hear me out. I bought a lot of their games under $10. So yeah, maybe a super fan, I double dip, but to some extent it's cheap. I didn't pay them full price. But the bottom line is I had like 9 or 10 Neptunia games on Steam, so there was an extra cent that took off for me to get the shooter, so I got it for $3.19. But you know, Steam's discount's pretty cool. Sony gotta take note of that one, in my opinion. But you know, Sony's being Sony, but that's a different story there. But yeah, so $5 really, it's not that bad. Leaderboard there. But there is a lot of question about this game. First of all, there's no continue. Can the game be hard? Yeah, but if you're really good at shooter and jumps, it wouldn't be a problem. It doesn't really have a bomb attack, you just only shoot, but they're rapid fire, so that's pretty good. And it is based like Gradius, but there's no like obstacles, so you just basically have to shoot Dogos, and that's the best part. It's just a bunch of Dogus. I think Dogus. Yeah, that's what it calls of Dogus. And each level you have to fight one of your friends because I guess they got either corrupted, and then once you beat them, they join you. So one of the problems with the game, like I said, there's no bomb feature, is there's also no continue. So there are 6 stages in this game. The 6 or 7 stages, something like that. In each end of the stage, you have to fight one of your friends because they're like corrupted. So a bit of a spoiler just for me. The first stage, you have to fight Kampa, and then once you defeat her, she joins you. And then the second level is IF, and then the third level is Noir. And the thing about this game is different than the other one is that they also still have that sort of like the Neptunia sort of element in it, like they all go together. So in this game, you started only with Neptune, but as you progress in the level, you're able to change the characters, and each character fires differently. So in the case with Neptune, of course, it just shoots forward. Kampa shoots down or drops some Dr. Mario type capsule. IF shoots backward because enemies will go everywhere, either from the bottom, it could be also on the top, forward and front, back. That's what it is. So you gotta time it right, which character is appropriate for each situation. That it's actually fun because again, it's like just your basic shooter. So what's the downside? Like I said, there's no bomb. So there's no bomb in the game. So when you're stumped, that's it. Second, no continue. When you die, you die. You start with 3 lives, but you get more lives as your score you score, you build up your score, you get, one of those one-up thing. Again, basic score one-up system. But again, the game tends to get hard. And once you're dead, once all your life is gone, game over, you gotta start over from the beginning. That is the downside there. Hopefully a VIA update, there'll be like you get to continue or stage select. But again, it's probably something that you just slapped it on, and there you go, Neptunia Shooter. Because remember, the story about this one is that it started as just an April Fool saying, hey look, we have this game coming not so distant future past, I don't know, Neptunia Shooter. So people thought, oh well, April's 1st. And then all suddenly, days later, they announced, oh guess what, coming this May, Neptunia Shooter, and it is real. I played it. It's fun. For what it is, it's fun. It won't really doesn't really make you really play it for long. You probably play it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops, in my opinion, and then you're done. You're gonna do somewhere else. So it's a good sort of an indie game real fast. So yeah, so it is pretty good there. And yeah, I mean, if you're a Neptunia fan, you're probably gonna buy this. So would it be nice to be on the Switch? Oh, most definitely. Playing Neptunia Shooter while taking a crap makes sense. Other system, also possibly, maybe the PS4 to some extent, because I don't think there's nothing to censor. They're like pixelated. Heck, maybe the Vita. Remember, some games are still supporting the Vita, even so Sony is not supporting Vita anymore. So, but whatever, it's Sony. So, if I would give a score for this one, I would actually give it 7 out of 10. Why 7? Why not 8? Why not a perfect score? Well, the game is not perfect. There have been a lot of bugs from what I heard. They did improve it. But a bit of a downside of the game is, like I said, there is no continue, in my opinion. So if you game over, gotta start over in the path from level 1 and then all the way. So I don't know if there's an ending or not unless you're really good. No bombs sometimes. So it's all about skill. It is all about skill. So when you're in a bind, you better be good where to see. You have to have good reflex to dodge all those bullets. So, I mean, mostly the reason why some shooter have bombs is like a get out of jam type of attack. That's what it is. So, I mean, maybe they'll improve the game. Maybe they'll add something new. Maybe pay DLC for $2, just like they're doing with the Rebirth series. Who knows? The leaderboard is good. Kind of gives you an incentive to be competitive in the game. Will be awesome. Will be multiplayer with online. Again, if they improve the game, remember it's just $5. So maybe a paid DLC, they could probably add more stuff in it. Make it like a sort of a service there. But like I said, the downside really is no continue, no bomb, a bit of minor bug, but I think they fixed that one there. So 7 out of 10. With that, I'll see you guys later.